You know, talking about Street Fighter last episode got me to thinking. Why does Street Fighter have a story? When you get down to brass tacks, the world of Street Fighter is this mismanaged, totally inconsistent retcon to all hell mess that no one can make sense of. You'd think that a game about a fighting tournament would be easy to plot, like making yourself a bowl of cereal. You pour the cereal, you pour the milk, end of demonstration. But somehow, Capcom figured that they needed to reinvent the wheel, and now the story of Street Fighter is a veritable Russian novel of fake deaths, reworked powers, and pure military strength bullshit. When the video game can't even get its own story straight, what chance does the adaptation have? And it's even worse for the likes of Darkstalkers. While Capcom can always count on Street Fighter to rake in the cash, it has no idea what to do with Darkstalkers, except throw them into the latest crossover game they're making. Which is a real shame because for the most part, the world of Darkstalkers is insane, and gloriously so. If you have the time, I suggest looking up the backstory to these games. They have flaming alien overlords and fetus gods. I swear I am not making this up. Still, there really hasn't been a new Darkstalkers game since 1997. There's been plenty of remakes and appearances since then, but a whole new game has been out of reach since Capcom claimed that the latest compilation game didn't sell. However, in the 90s, Darkstalkers looked to be a new promising feather in Capcom's cap. So, inevitably, an adaptation was made. And it was inevitably shitty. Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge, suffers from many of the same problems as Street Fighter II did. Too many characters, too little story and focus. Both gain some points lost by having top-notch animation and action, and both benefit from starry-eyed nostalgia. But the question isn't which one is worse, it's how much worse is Night Warriors than Street Fighter II? Before we get started, I feel I need to get everyone on the same page in regards to Darkstalkers. Basically, the concept is that this is an Earth that has been merging with a dark world called Makai. This merging brings forth the Darkstalkers, an amorphous term used for the many monsters and demons that battle for supremacy. The exact details vary depending on the continuity, but just remember that this is supposed to be about monsters fighting each other like the classic Universal flicks, with hopefully less awkward choreography. Remember that, people. With that said, let's see how badly they screwed it all up. We begin by having the vampire Lord Dimitri give us the most transparent, thickly laid on exposition this side of The Last Airbender.
After your time here on Earth, the strength you've gained will make certain your new role as ruler of the demon world.
Spare me your comforts. That I was defeated in the demon world and exiled to Earth is only fact. However, the humans have restored me, and now I hold custody of the greatest power among all that are alive.
What kills me especially about this scene is that Dimitri's butler bothered to unsheath that gigantic, massive painting just to further solidify Dimitri's backstory to the audience. Why does Dimitri even have that painting to begin with?
Yes, commission for me a painting of my glorious defeat, and make sure it's the size of a highway billboard. I want no one to miss how much I suck. So after thanking his subject for their tributes and offerings by killing them, we flash to Morrigan picking off some of Dimitri's men who have a key she wants. Morrigan Ainsland. If there is a more popular character with fans who have never played the source material, then I do not know it. I'm serious, I can't think of another character that has such a large fan base full of people who don't know thing one about her. I mean, I get why she's popular, obviously, but you'd think that popularity would transfer some sort of knowledge of the character. Like, did you guys know that Morrigan is supposed to be Scottish? Like, no shit, really. Which means her depiction here...
How is it you serve your master so willingly? Have you no desire to rise against this Dimitri and take his throne?
Is technically less accurate than her depiction here.
You couldn't eat a 6-story gargoyle if it sat in your lap.
But if we're talking toast, perhaps you'd like some jelly.
I think I just have the Morrigan fanbase through suicide. Can somebody call J-List and tell them that business is going to be slow for a few months? We cut to Felicia, the Catwoman, or Whammon, as it were, running into Lord Raptor, an undead Cockney rock star. And... yes! I just confirmed that that sentence has never been uttered in the history of language.
I just think you should be careful.
Something's gonna happen, I know.
Oh, you're damn right something's gonna happen. I'm playing tonight, aren't I? I put out for them with my music. They put out a bit of their souls for me. It's beautiful, truly beautiful. I feel right at home here.
God. Scott McNeil is the Al Pacino of voice acting. It turns out Felicia was right on the money, as the audience for Raptor's show turns out to be a bunch of hooded holy warriors there to kill Darkstalkers. I would be questioning how the hell they managed to get into the theater looking like that, but really, the ensuing fight scene is just too entertaining. Lord Raptor and Felicia have about fuck all to do with the story, as you will soon see, but goddamn do they own every moment they are given. McNeil is his usual high-energy self, and the dub allows him to have a few cheesy one-liners.
Oh, the show ain't over yet. Don't you want to buy a t-shirt?
And that's it. Yep, say goodbye to Raptor, because we never see him again for the rest of the series. Good fucking lord. And it's not like Felicia is all that important too. In fact, we have yet to meet our main characters. And I do not want to. We cut back to Dimitri blasting his way into Makai to have his vengeance. Was that the fucking transporter sound effect from Star Trek? Why is it the fucking transporter sound effect from Star Trek? This Foley choice makes no sense. It doesn't even sync to the action on screen. I mean, just because you can use a famous sound effect doesn't mean you should. Morrigan intercepts Dimitri before he reaches the demon world to fight him for no real reason. I'll admit it's kind of cool that the animators bothered to use the characters' actual fight moves and incorporated them into the choreography, and while I appreciate the sentiment, I'll be the first to admit that the moves themselves are goofy as hell. Morrigan's is particularly silly, and every time she does her drill kick move, it just looks cringeworthy. Not that Morrigan's skill set has never been ridiculous.
How did you dodge this?
Awesome! It gets even weirder when Pyron's robots come out of nowhere to fight the two. Who's Pyron, as you're more than justified in asking? Well, the anime does eventually answer that question. Halfway through the series! After the two wipe out the bots, they just fuck off for about an hour of running time. That's right, Morrigan and Dimitri, arguably the two most famous characters of the entire franchise, hold about as much importance to the story as Lord Raptor. Fuck you too, Night Warriors. So if Morrigan and Dimitri are our main characters, and Felicia and Raptor are our main characters, who is? Donovan Bane. The most boring, lifeless, charisma-free vacuum of a character I have ever seen. I don't want to know why. Fuck why. I want to know who. I want to know who is the motherfucking cockstain that okayed this decision. I want to know who he is, where he can be found, and if he has any large dogs. I want to know where he is so I can find him. I want to find him so I can explain to him the folly of his decision. If that man just so happens to be watching this right now, I want you to know that because of you, the rest of the anime is going to be just this.
Do they fight because they cannot coexist? One unable to tolerate the existence of the other. Both sides fighting until the other is destroyed. That is the way of man. However, it is also the way of the demon. This world yearns for death.
You did this, you stupid son of a bitch! You made this happen! And when I find you, there won't be anything left but a greasy spot on the asphalt! I'm coming for you, you miserable little shit! And I'm bringing hell with me! Ooh, cookies. What was I talking about again? Right. Donovan is our actual protagonist, and I can already feel my life draining away. I am well aware that he was the main character of the game, and it's only natural that he should be the lead in the anime adaptation as well, but you can't tell me with a straight face that anyone played the games because of Donovan of all characters. This is an adaptation where you adapt from the source material. This is why Naked Lunch actually makes sense.
Fenway!
Some sense. In any case, Donovan comes upon a small church who is trying to protect a young girl named Anita, as she's been made a target by the Dark Ones, and this has the rest of the hamlet on edge.
If we don't do something soon, those Dark Ones are gonna come here and kill all of us, too.
He's right. It's kill or be killed. Let's do them before they do us.
Not yet. We've got to talk to the priest first. I know you're all angry, but let's not forget who's our real enemy. You've got to calm down.
Screw you. I'm sick of waiting to die.
Yeah, let's all go to the church. Let's kill them before they kill us.
Yeah!
Kill the girl, cut her throat, spill her blood. See, aren't you glad you read Lord of the Flies in high school now? So the mad mob comes and burns down the church and nearly lands a shot on Anita, but Donovan makes the save. But doesn't make the save on the dozen or so innocents that died a horrible burning death. Fuck you, Donovan.
He's one of the Dark Ones!
Once again, the dark power has come forth from me.
Yeah, your horrible dark powers just saved someone, you complete dolt. Shut the fuck up! Anita and Donovan trade infuriatingly glib observations of human duality before Anita just says fuck it and joins Donovan on his quest for ultimate emo. Need I remind you that this is supposed to be a story about a bunch of monsters fighting in front of a fetus god? And if you think Donovan is being a self-important douchebag, well, it's because he is, but you don't know the meaning of the word until you've heard what's supposed to be the title intro to these episodes.
On the faces of those who live in the light can be seen a sort of death mask, while those who live in the dark seem content to remain in their unlit vaults and crypts. Of what worth is one's will to fight? What worth when the blood that sprays forth from violated flesh seems to find new freedom in its release?
My Tekken will create the destruction of the devil and the renewal of the gods.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets!
What the fuck are you talking about? The blood that sprays forth from violated flesh? I've read Stabbing Westward lyrics that were less inane. God, even Trent Reznor would tell this guy to cheer the fuck up. So at the end of the first episode, I bet you're all wondering what happens in the next episode. Well, I'll tell you, abso-fucking-lutely nothing. No, I'm not joking. Donovan is sent after Bishamon, a cursed soul in demonic armor. They fight for a bit, and then they have a 10-minute powwow about how Donovan should take some Prozac.
Live on and show me the way. Do not be tempted by the dark, and show me the true path of man.
Not be tempted by the dark. Show the path of man. It may be only a dream.
I would that it not end as a dream. For that dream is no less than that which we have lost. That we have all lost.
Oh, for the love of... It's like if Rust Cole from True Detective was your therapist. And none of this matters at all. Bishaman takes up his cursed armor again, and Donovan continues his pity party for another 2 episodes after he's rescued by Mei Ling and her Chinese vampire sister, Xian Ka. How in the hell did they know where to find Donovan? Fuck, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing Xian Ka right. And we end the episode with Pyron, intergalactic fire lord bent on world domination / destruction / whatever the fuck. Honestly, I have no idea what Pyron wants. He says he comes to conquer and rule, but all he does is just destroy the Earth. So what exactly is he ruling? At least with M. Bison, there was an end goal. World domination. Sure, his methods didn't make a lick of sense, but you didn't spend the whole movie wondering what in the hell he was trying to do. Pyron, on the other hand, I just don't get. I mean, does he want to destroy everything, or does he want to rule and be the smartest man on the Cinder? Yeah, that was a Watchmen reference.
If the 3 were to converge, probability says even Pyron himself would perish.
Yeah, that never happens. They never even see each other, let alone converge. How do I even explain to you all how stupid that is? It's like if in Captain Planet, the only way to save the day was for the 5 to let their powers combine, but Kwame just kicks the bad guy in the plum purse and pimps out. Fuck! That would actually be pretty boss. Okay, let me try again. Oh, I got it. It's like if in the Avengers, the only way to stop Loki was for the Avengers to assemble, but Hulk winds up just ragdolling him into the concrete.
Puny god.
I guess I must have been on vacation for too long. Pyron, of course, couldn't give less of a fuck and continues his attack on the Earth. Huh? What's that? Will Donovan arrive in time to save these poor people from an incinerating death? Of course not, stupid! Instead, the next episode begins with Xian Ka and Mei Ling recounting their backstory. Twice!
It's the comet! If only it hadn't...
I'm so not joking. They showed that exact same scene where their mother sacrifices herself to save the world from Pyron's comet 10 minutes later. I get that maybe after an hour and a half of mind-numbing rambling, the creators thought that they needed to emphasize some things before we pass out from choking on our own drool, but this is just unheard of. It's even worse the second time around because they drag out the scene before she sacrifices herself. And speaking of dragging...
Well, what do you know? He's leaving too.
If you think about it, he has no choice. Born between the light and the dark, a Dhampir such as he cannot hope to exist among the humans. He would provoke only scorn, that and their anger. Finding purpose in the destruction of the dark, despite his own heritage. Isn't that what he said?
Ah, God, not you two! Donovan doesn't need an emo hype man!
But sis, I don't get it. Where's it all lead to? What's at the end of the hatred?
Loneliness, perhaps?
Fuck me, now you're joining this 3-point harmony too, Xian Ka? You have any other inane musings you want to throw at me while you're at it?
He'll continue it, you know, this lonely one-man fight. Self against self.
But sis, to be lonely means to be alone, right?
You know what? No, Xian Ka. You don't have to be alone to be lonely. You could be the loneliest motherfucker on the planet and be in the middle of Times Square on a Tuesday afternoon. Just like you could be the dumbest mouth breather on this show just by asking a single question. The only saving grace is that Donovan and the gang aren't really the A-plot in this episode, as Morrigan and Dimitri enter the story again, finally. Apparently, Morrigan has some information on the robots that they fought some time back.
In the age of ancient civilizations, during another time when feuding groups fought each other for power, many such groups seem to have disappeared completely from the pages of history. When a civilization reaches the apex of its growth, the Huitzil appear. They're triggered as though they're time bombs.
My lord, look! A clear indication of one such civilization. It was the Huitzil. The Huitzil destroyed their civilization.
Well, it looks like the Mayans got 2 doomsday scenarios wrong. Oh, this would have been so much funnier if this were 2012. So it seems the Huitzil are targeting Dimitri and his dominion under the ancient instructions of Pyron because his is the most dominant civilization on Earth at the moment. And you would think this is where the anime finally has a clear plotline, but no! Honestly, is it any surprise that Night Warriors is still dragging its heels at this point? We cut to a completely pointless segment between Felicia and John Talbane pulling a Mission Impossible and killing a bunch of Huitzil. And bam! We never see the two of them again. Listen, I know it seems that I'm jumping around the story at this point, but you have to understand that literally nothing of consequence is happening here. Sure, John Talbane and Felicia are exchanging dialogue, and sure, Felicia finds the good in humanity when it seems so rare in this day and age, but these scenes are completely pointless to the plot at large. You could make the argument that they were meant to be more thematic than plot-oriented, and I can see the logic behind it, as at the very least, they do keep a consistent tone that was intended. But because these scenes are with plot-irrelevant characters, it feels like the story is refusing to move at all. Probably because it isn't. Instead of enriching the story, it feels like we're watching a 20-minute vignette in the middle of our anime, which is about 10 minutes longer than the main plot has taken so far. If you're still not getting me, here's what I want you to do. Play this clip.
Even if they do save the soul of their mother, they'll only be condemning their own 2 souls to suffer the eternal darkness in her stead. Still, that belief they have that they'll somehow manage to do it, it must be the source of their strength.
Over and over again, stopping only to play a round of Darkstalkers 2 every so often. That is Night Warriors in a nutshell. Do you get it now?
Their strength is a lie. They're just gonna go die.
Oh, Jesus fuck! Shut her up! Ah, God! She went from Wednesday Addams to a bleeding goat in a nanosecond. I know I haven't really talked about Anita so far, but that's only because there's so little to talk about. She's this emotionless doll of a girl that causes Donovan to stop talking about himself for a change and talk about how rough she has it, which is only slightly more bearable. In fact, if I'm being honest, the child actress playing Anita is surprisingly good. I mean, as far as child actors in anime is concerned. Then again, maybe it's just her luck that she was cast in a role that required her to be stilted and unnatural. Still, I get why she sounded the way she did. It's for the same reason that Haley Joel Osment sounds like an evil Muppet here. If you're wondering where the other as-of-yet unseen Darkstalker characters are during all of this, don't worry. Pyron shows up out of nowhere just so he can kill all of them. Yeah, apparently Pyron literally traveled all around the world just to kill Anakaris, Victor, Rikuo, and Sasquatch. You know, it used to be that I would have to turn off safe search on Google Images to see characters getting fucked like that. They're not even name-checked, but there they are, getting the shit beaten out of them by Pyron. Hope you like it, Darkstalker fans! So, after 2 hours, Pyron finally fights Dimitri, and he gets his Buster Poindexter ass handed to him. Okay, whose bright idea was it to give Pyron the awesome face smiley? The hell of it is, he keeps doing it. I mean, I wasn't intimidated by him in the first place, but seeing him with that goofy-ass grin on his face makes me think less fiery Overlord and more Bozo the Clown. It'd be like if Tywin Lannister presided over the Red Wedding while making a Private Pile face. The Lannisters send their regards. In a world of shit. Realizing that the episode just began and they already knocked Dimitri out of the picture, the anime just says fuck it and has the Huitzel attack Pyron. At this point, does anybody care why, or care about the political intrigue between Morrigan's house and the other demonic nobility? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Morrigan's family is involved in a feud between... Wait, why am I even explaining that? It's just this pathetic little plotline that contributes absolutely nothing to the main story, just like the other 90% of this anime. And just to really tighten the thumbscrews, the show decides to pull these assholes out of nowhere to burn the city, believing that Pyron's coming is some sort of sign that they had to burn everything, because the night is dark and full of terrors and such shit. Which leads to, you guessed it, more Donovan bullshit!
We will burn this city to the ground. How ironic that your kind can exist only in a land like it. There is meaning to be found in your existence, but not as you imagine it. Kill everything, all that is dark. After that, you must kill all the humans. Only then will your truth be realized. With your tainted blood, neither side will accept you. Why not kill them all? It is a harsh truth, but it is uniquely yours.
A truth uniquely mine.
But there's only one truth that is your truth. That's the one that's formed from whatever point of view that you choose to view it from.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I wish I was watching Ava right now. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go shave my tongue. I think the anime is somewhat aware of what a stupid turn that scene was, and immediately cuts to Morrigan finding Dimitri in the ruins of his castle and reviving him. And that's it for them! The rest of the anime is just Shinka, Mei Ling, and Donovan fighting Pyron and spewing still more hackneyed bullshit.
What is it inside me that keeps me fighting? Why can't I stop?
Sis, there's something wrong with Donovan.
No matter how he fights against the darkness in his blood will never go away. So long as he has it, the humans will never accept him as one of them. His hatred of the dark will never be believed by them, not ever. It is his sad destiny. Half his blood is that of the cursed dark.
Yes! We get it! He is a Dhampir! He is a Vampire! A Campion! A Nephilim! He is a tortured, morose, complicated motherfucker that would not crack a smile if you gave him $1 million, a cupcake, and a can of Coke! We get it! The finishing line is just right there, Night Warriors. Stop shitting by the side of the road and just end already! Mercifully, the show heeds my prayers and has Anita resurrect Donovan and ruins Pyron's flamey shit in the most pretentious way I can possibly imagine.
What is this thing? This thing that I, who know all, cannot understand?
It is the universe, the one inside the self that is forever beyond you.
What universe? What inside? What self?
He literally collapsed under the unbearable lightness of being. Fuck you! Fuck you, Night Warriors! Fuck you! My God, I have never seen so little stretched so far than in Night Warriors. There was barely enough plot for a single 20-minute episode, but through pure bullshit, they managed to drag this non-story kicking and screaming to Chris Nolan length. Yes, the animation and fight scenes are once again very well done, but again I have to ask, who cares? Especially if we have to sit through Donovan's pity party for one goddamn second! But, back to my original question. How much worse is Night Warriors than Street Fighter 2? A lot. Okay? A lot. But, Fighting Game Month is not over yet, and I have wisely saved the best for last. Till next time!